Yes, sir.
Welcome, everybody, to Monday, October 14th, 2019, Commission Chambers and the Planning Commission meeting at 5 p.m. And this meeting has been called to order. Gwen, will you please take the roll?
Yes. First, Vice Chair Belowski is absent this evening, and Commissioner Hearn is absent. Commissioner Clyett?
Here.
Commissioner Rappa?
Present.
Second Vice Chair Wyckoff?
Present.
Commissioner Preston?
Present.
And Chairman Noble.
Here.
Thank you.
Agenda item number number 3, election of the officers. Chairman, first Vice Chairman, and second Vice Chairman. Do we have any motions for nominees?
Crickets.
Can I make a motion to keep it the same as we had it?
I'll second it.
Who for? You second it? Okay.
That's what I thought.
You are correct. I'll do that. I would like to make a motion, we retain the same positions as the previous year.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All right, Gwen, can we have a vote?
Yes. Commissioner Rappa?
Yes.
Commissioner Preston?
Yes.
Commissioner Clyett?
Yes.
Second Vice Chair Wyckoff?
Yes.
Chairman Noble.
Yes. Agenda item number 4, approval of the minutes, August 12th, 2019, and September 9th, 2019. Anybody see anything that they would like to change or that was wrong?
Nope. I make the motion that we accept the minutes for the previous 2 meetings as presented.
I'd second it.
And we go to the go to the vote.
Commissioner Clyett?
Yes.
Commissioner Rappa?
Yes.
Second Vice Chair Wyckoff?
Yes.
Commissioner Preston?
Yes.
Chairman Noble.
Yes. Agenda item number 5, new business. A, to consider a special exemption use for property located at 14249 Gulf Boulevard. And should we go to the applicant first?
The applicant will present, and then I'm happy to take any questions about the staff report. You can then seek public comment, close the public comment, deliberate, and answer any questions you have of the applicant or the staff.
Please state your name and.
My name's Eric Shoemake, and I'm representing Carrie Stapleton and Barbara WOHLGEMUTH
Okay.
for the property at 14249 Gulf Boulevard. They bought this property back in March of 2015 as a single resident home, and they tried to sell it this year, long story short, and the buyer went to the bank, and the bank wouldn't loan them a loan on the house because it was designated commercial property. And so they started doing some digging, and the city of Madeira Beach didn't even have record of the property at all. And apparently back in 1996, the city was subcontracting some of its permitting duties to Treasure Island. And so that entire process of building that home went through those offices, and that's where this information was on file. And now they are asking you guys to give them an exemption that would, obviously designate the place as a single family home, which it is. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, and it's been there for 24 years. So, and I guess that's why I'm here. on very short notice.
You did a fine job.
Thanks. So other than that, I don't know.
Was that
What else am I responsible?
commercial zoning, was it C3?
It's C3.
C3, right.
C3.
Yeah.
It's right by my office.
Trying to picture which
It's my office, then the shoreline, then this property,
Oh, okay.
as you travel north.
Oh,
It's a beautiful house, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah. So they just want to get it under residential.
Right, because what ended up happening is, well, they were cash buyers, so they didn't even figure this out because they came in and bought the house. But they had it sold and under contract, and then the loan officer found out that it was designated improperly, or however that is, and they wouldn't give them the loan. So the buyer no longer exists, and the house is still for sale. So, and they already had another house lined up to buy and under contract for that, and so, so it's been kind of a little bit of
How
that.
that goes. Can I ask a question, or do you want to present and then I can ask you a question?
You can do it, but however you like.
So under the C3 zoning, residential is a permitted use. Does it have to be specifically designated as such? Because
So-
it's listed as special exception?
It's a special exception use.
So there has to be a granting of that
So it
exception?
has to be granted.
Okay.
The situation goes back to the fact that the house is over 20 years old, and when the C3 zoning vested on top of it, it became a non-conforming use.
I understand.
They bought for cash, not a problem.
Right.
But financing and non-conforming uses are generally a problem. So they're seeking the special exception, which is permitted in C3, to rectify that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions of the applicant?
No, I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Just point of procedure, since Ralph isn't here, can we swear in the witness and just say that everything you told us is the truth? That way we cover our bases. I should have caught it before.
Okay. Would you like to raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Has everything you said been truthful?
It is, to my knowledge.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Clinton.
Was that good? Okay, now does the city have a presentation or any comments?
Just what I've said, unless you have other questions.
Okay, anybody have questions of the city?
Yeah, I have a question. If C3 is also residential,
It's not. It's commercial. It allows for a residential use by special exception.
so that's what,
That's why we're here.
okay.
And in your package, you have the staff report that has basic findings about how it complies with what's going on in terms of the special exception use. If there is a desire, one of the conditions you might recommend to the special magistrate would be that the property owners execute a unity of ownership, because I believe that it was originally two platted lots. And so that would allow the residential building to exist, and if it were ever torn down, the lots couldn't be split up. There's a lot of small lots on the island, and so.
And this doesn't affect the adjoining properties in any way? They still have,
We've found no adverse impacts to
Okay.
the adjoining properties. The single-family residence has been there over 20 years. And
Yeah.
and no one's here, obviously, to complain about
though
the...
you should open public comment for the record and
Okay.
close it
I
at
do
some
have a question,
point.
though, if you don't mind.
Sure,
Sorry.
go ahead, Mike.
How does this get recorded then, so that for future reference, because there are some other properties up and down Gulf Boulevard that are single-family or small multifamily use that are residential in nature, that are in the C3 zoning category. I just sold one last week, closed on it. So how does this get recorded so that, the property owners don't find themselves in this situation again down the line?
It should be recorded as part of the official zoning map.
Okay.
Because this is a zoning change. It's still C3 with a special exception for residential use.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, and we'll open up the floor to public comment at this time. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Gwen, you're on the clock. And I guess we'll close the public comments. And does anybody make a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider a special exception use for property located at 14249 Gulf Boulevard. Do I have it?
Anybody with a second?
I'll second.
Do we need to clarify that it's in keeping with the comprehensive plan?
You should make a finding of consistency with a comprehensive plan, and you should make a recommendation to the special magistrate to whatever, approve, deny.
Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
So I'll make a motion to consider a special exception use for a property located at 14249 Gulf Boulevard. And we need a special exception
You want a finding of consistency?
on finding.
Recommend a finding of consistency with the comprehensive plan and recommend approval by the special magistrate.
By a special magistrate.
And does that basically mean that, like you said, if it was split up or whatever, later in the future, if it was tore down, it couldn't be split up, or is that what we're talking about?
Only if she adds that to her motion, that,
It's not large enough.
should I make an amendment to the, could I add on to your motion that in our recommendation to the special magistrate, that we have a continuous unity of ownership for that property?
Right. Yeah.
I just did it. As long as you're willing to accept my amendment to your motion.
Through the chair, Gwen, you got what you need?
Yes, I do.
And we just need a second, I think, after the changes.
And
I'll
Rafa-
second.
Okay, I was going to say Rafa did second.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll take the vote.
Okay. Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
second Vice Chair Wyckoff,
Yes?
Commissioner Rappa,
Yes.
Commissioner Clyett,
Yes.
Chairman Noble.
Yes. And then agenda item, thank you so much for your time and coming down. Yep, thank you. Agenda item 6, old business. We have nothing on the agenda tonight. And then agenda item 7, Planning Commission discussion. I would like to welcome Robert to the commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to working with you. And anybody else have anything they would like to discuss? I'd like to also thank Jerry for a good workshop today. It's always
you.
informative to learn more about it. I like that. Now, our next meeting is November 4th. Is that the second Monday in November or first?
Actually, it's on that date because it's a holiday.
The
It
next
is
one. Okay, so we're moving it up.
Right.
Okay, just so we're clear, it's not
The
the second
11th.
Monday. This will be
Yeah.
the first Monday for one time only.
Correct, because the
Okay.
11th falls on a holiday.
And 6 p.m.
Will it be 6 p.m.?
Well, we can have a conversation about that. So it's
Yes.
going to be the town hall. We don't have anything scheduled for the agenda at this point other than that. So if you wanted to meet at 6, if you wanted to meet at 5, you folks agreed previously that we would meet at 4:30 to do some of these workshop items. That way we could do the regular hearing if we had one at 6 o'clock. We still, I think, are within the window that something could come forward for that date as a public hearing. But if you wanted to change it to 5 o'clock, you might be getting out earlier. It's kind of going to accommodate the public. And so for folks who work, the after 6 is generally the date. For folks who go to bed early, you could start a little early. It's really up to you. I would imagine if we're not talking about liveaboards, that the meeting will probably take about an hour and a half at the most. If there's a good public comment, and we're hoping to do outreach and get some folks in here to talk about
I think if we're trying to
this.
get the public out here, probably 6 o'clock is better than 5, just to allow people who need to come from work and things like that. They don't have to.
Absolutely. I think that the later the better, so that,
Yeah.
people may want to grab a bite to eat before they come to the meeting or whatever.
It's entirely up to y'all.
I think 6 is good.
All right, we'll keep this meeting scheduled for November 4th, 2019 at 6 p.m. Any other comments?
Well, before you adjourn, just to use Commissioner Biloski's words, please do your homework and get that information to me. Think broadly, again, anything, the sky is the limit at this point, because you may think of something, I throw the Wi-Fi thing out just because it's kind of out there. You may think of something that somebody else may think is a great idea or may not think about. We want to capture as much as we can, just because there's a lot of analysis that has to go into quantifying the actual fees. And so the more that we have, the more we have to work with. Perfect.
Can I get that re-emailed to me? Mine was not fillable on there, and then all my emails were deleted, so Gwen has my iPad to get that taken care of. But if you could get that re-emailed to me, I'll see if I can come up with some more.
Sure.
All right, then that's it. This meeting is adjourned.